Down to 5, down to 4. Game on the line right here. He takes Murray. He ducks under. Vooch for the win.
Vucevic has done it again. Put some respect on Vucevic's name. Bang, bang, bang. Late game killer. We're coming back to Chicago.
I don't know about you guys, I'm still laughing a bit after watching that buzzer beater from Nikola Vucevic. I mean, what a shot. Yet another clutch shot from Vuce this season. This is like his third clutch basket of the year, his first buzzer beater, second game winner. The other was against the Sixers earlier in the season. Just wasn't a buzzer beater for that one. But I'm also still laughing because it was almost too comical just how poorly the Bulls played in that fourth quarter, blowing a 21-point lead in a matter of minutes. And then finally, waking up a bit in the final minute when you thought it was almost too late when Kobe came down the other end to sink the three to cut the lead down to 1. I'll be honest, the second the Blazers tied the game, I believe it was 116 to 116, I told my wife the game's over. Not that she cared, but you know, I don't want to just be talking to myself when I'm watching these games. But I said, it's over. This was even before the Donovan Clingan M1 that finally put them ahead when I really thought it was over, and it's because we've seen this too often with the Bulls, not closing out games, blowing big leads in the fourth. Not that it's been all the time, because there actually have been a number of games where the Bulls kept their composure and closed out games even when they faltered a bit in the fourth. But when you blow a 21-point lead like that in the fourth quarter, to have that lead evaporated in minutes. It was a matter of 5 to 6 minutes between having a 21-point lead and the Blazers cutting it to 3 before they eventually took the lead in the final minute. I mean, this Bulls team is much more resilient than Bulls teams of the past. They keep fighting. They don't let much get to them, but blowing a massive lead like that late in the game on the road has to be demoralizing. But thank God the Blazers missed some key free throws. Avdia split the pair, so did Jeremy Grant. That paved the way for the Bulls to be able to get that final possession, and also key, not having the Blazers just try and foul if they were up by 3 points. I was a little skittish about Kobe White, what he was doing, driving the basket with guys all over him, and then it looked like he was about to throw the ball away after he went up midair, but he found Vucevic on the kick out, and Vuce sank it. What a shot. What a game. I'm not going to call this a good game because it wasn't. I mean, the Blazers were banged up with a lot of guys out of the lineup. They had a late game last night where they played the Phoenix Suns for an 8 p.m. tip-off. I know the Bulls have been traveling and playing a lot of games of their own, but there is no excuse for coming out the way that they did in the fourth quarter and letting the Blazers be more physical than they were, wanting it more than the Bulls did. Give that young Blazers team credit though, man. They hustle, they play with grit and an edge. Like, they're not a good shooting team. They're not a good offensive team, period. Everyone knows this. But where they do excel at is when it comes to their offensive rebounding and second chance points. They know they're going to be missing a lot of shots. So the only way to really keep their offense going and staying in games is by attacking the glass and getting as many possessions as they can. The Blazers had 26 offensive rebounds in this game. 26! Clingan had 10 offensive boards alone. The Blazers averaged 14.6 offensive rebounds so far this season, which is second in the league. They had 26 in this game. They had more than their average at halftime. And what's crazy is, you know, the Bulls are actually leading the league in defensive rebounds. So to have the Blazers just outwork you on the glass for a team that played last night is unacceptable. The Bulls were out-rebounded 64 to 38. The Blazers got up 107 shots to the Bulls 96. They went to the free throw line 32 times compared to the Bulls 14. I mean, to be honest, when you look at the numbers that way, it's actually a miracle the Bulls won this game and actually led for most of it, because the Blazers were winning the possession battle and they were much more aggressive than the Bulls were in the paint. 62 to 44 points in the paint in this game. Obviously, what kept the Bulls in this, despite getting dominated on the boards and in the paint, was the fact that the Bulls were hot from outside. They made 21 threes, a season high for them so far this year, shooting 43% from three, while the Blazers were pretty horrendous, 12 for 22 from deep at 29%. And the Bulls also just moved the ball really well, assisting off way more baskets than the Blazers did. That's what the Bulls do. But yeah, man, that fourth quarter was a disaster. That would have been the biggest blown lead in the fourth quarter so far this season in the NBA had Vooch not knocked down that three. So thank God he hit that, so we wouldn't have to sit with that title until, who knows, blows another massive lead in the fourth quarter. Vooch was incredible in this game, by the way. I mean, aside from the game winner, he was knocking down threes all game. His footwork and finishing around the basket was much better in this one than it has in the past few games. Vooch has actually struggled a bit as of late to generate offense. Really, the biggest knock on Vooch in this one was the fact that he's got to be better at crashing the boards and not allowing teams to get so many second chance opportunities. I mean, that sits with the whole team, but Vooch is obviously their big man, one of their best rebounders. rebounders, and I know Klingon is a big dude. Offensive rebounds are kind of his thing, something he does really well at, but you can't let the second-year player get 10 offensive rebounds. He's forgiven, though, because of that game winner. Coby White was also great, although he did have some untimely turnovers at the end of the game. But in the second game, his second game of the season, he looked even more comfortable out there with his shot and driving ability. It's also just so nice to have Coby out there as another offensive threat, because when things aren't going well for Josh Giddey on the scoring front, which was the case tonight, he knows he can rely on Coby to take the offensive burden. Coby 25 points in 27 minutes off the bench, 9 for 17, 5 for 9 from 3 to go along with 7 assists and 2 steals. You know, one thing I've appreciated about Coby White in the early going of the season is that he's much more active defensively. Like, he's getting in passing lanes, jumping for balls being thrown into the post, getting loose balls, jumping onto the court. Love seeing him hustle on that end of the floor. You know, I imagine we'll start seeing Coby inserted in the starting lineup very soon now that his minutes restrictions are being increased. My guess is he'll probably only play one of those two back-to-back games against the Heat and the Wizards on Friday and Saturday, but we'll see. Matas Buzelis was solid. I would have liked to see Matas play more minutes in this one because he actually played well. Like, it's one thing to see him get 19 minutes and, you know, he's turning the ball over, struggling to shoot it well, but he was 4 for 6 from the field, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, a +4 when he was out there, when all the other starters were in negative territory, by the way. And I guess Billy Donovan liked what he saw from Ayo, who was great, by the way. I feel like that dude just can't miss sometimes. He's been so efficient this season. And even Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips gave you some solid minutes off the bench. So maybe that's why you didn't see as many minutes coming from Matas Buzelis. Dalen Terry actually was doing things, by the way. Like, really was being productive and making plays. 3 steals tonight, 5 assists, and +16. Like, what was I watching out there tonight? Good for his trade value, I guess, given the fact I find it unlikely the Bulls look to re-sign him when he hits restricted free agency next summer. Josh Giddey didn't have the best game, although I wouldn't say it was bad either. 9 points, shot 3 for 9, didn't take that many shots, but also didn't have to take that many shots. Turned the ball over 5 times, but obviously doing what he does best, 13 assists, facilitating the offense, getting the ball out off of a rebound and pushing it ahead, hustling to get in the passing lanes to try to force turnovers on the defensive side as well. So yeah, overall, still not a bad game for Giddey, despite the fact that he was a little quieter on the scoring front. But anyway, holy hell, what an insane ending to that game just when you thought it was over and the Bulls were about to suffer an embarrassing defeat and another blown lead. You have Vucevic coming to the rescue, Coby as well, because without him hitting that fall-away 3 with less than 20 seconds to go, the Bulls aren't even in a position to be able to be set up for that game winner. So Bulls improved to 8-6, just not used to the Bulls having a winning record. And now, finally, some easier games are on the docket with the Wizards, Pelicans, Hornets, and Pacers as teams the Bulls will be facing off against over the next few days. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought of the game. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.